back in the 1970s. Tesla remade this song. Because of explicit lyrics, we can't play the remake, but we're still going to play the original song, Signs. And then also, Monkey Business by Skid Row. Talk a little bit about that one, Bass.
Well, here's the interesting thing. It came down. I didn't know exactly what I wanted in order my last song to be. And I talked to my dad about it, and Skid Row was a big band. They were more of an 80s hair band, but this album, and we do that, we talk about songs and stuff, we do songs. This album was released in 91. So I kind of, instead of doing a song, I kind of did more of an album. The album was released in 91 called Slave to the Grind by Skid Row. And it was released in 91. So what I decided to do was pick a song off the album that obviously did not have any explicit words in it. Because something that my dad told me, and he's a big Skid Row fan, this album was #1 overall at the end of 91 for a hard rock album.
Nice.
So I was like, you know what? I was like, you just gave me a great idea. And nonetheless, Monkey Business is a really good song. Still hear it occasionally to this day on some rock stations. But here's some Skid Row right here on the B&B Show, making its debut, Monkey Business, followed by Signs, and then we'll be back after the commercial break.
quality education. Visit bscc.edu. Your story starts at Bevel State.
Brian, we're back on the B&B Show here as Monkey Business by Skid Row and Signs by the 5-man electrical band.
Mm-hmm. And Bass, we are looking at the history between Walwyn area teams and their opening day opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we do not mention anybody, that means they don't have a game the first week. They have an open week, which we're not proponents of that big time, but that's not up to the teams. That's up to the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So we reviewed both Dora and Cordova's opening opponents. And, of course, since that's also our county game of the week, we went ahead and did Winston County Addison because they're playing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at the Jasper Vikings, who is on the flagship station, Friday night's game. They're going to take on Centerpoint. Now, Centerpoint used to be known as Irwin High School.
Mm-hmm.
They changed over. I know it was sometime in between 2009 and 2012. But Jasper holds a 14-2 record over Centerpoint. The last game that they played against each other was back in 2017. Jasper won that one 30-7. As a matter of fact, Bass, looking at this, Jasper has won the last 7 in the series. The last loss to Centerpoint, which was actually named Irwin back then, was back in 2006.
Wow.
So Jasper holds a decided 14-2 advantage in that particular series. So looking over at Curry, now they start off against Cold Springs. Another interesting game that these two have not played each other more because Curry and Cold Springs aren't that far off. Now, there is a classification difference versus like a Cordova, Fayette County. Their classifications are usually close. So is Dora Winfield. You would think they would play more. This is a 4A versus a 2A. They've only played each other one time, and it was back in 1977.
Oh.
You weren't born. I was 3 years old. Curry won that one 22-6. So that's the only history between those two. Two teams that have a lot of history together because they've been in the regions together and they've been in the playoffs with each other. On top of that, Lynn and Marion County.
Mm-hmm.
Marion County holds the lead in this one. It's 18-13. Last year, Marion County won this matchup 29-7.
Now, keep in mind, this is Lynn's got a week off. Their first bye week, so this will be 3 weeks from Friday.
That's right. So that was my bad on that one, so that's a little preview.
It's all good.
Meek plays that powerhouse Maplesville.
Ooh.
They have never met before.
Ooh.
So this will be the first time in history, and boy, what a barn burner to start off with. Luckily for Meek, they don't have to travel there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Oakman Solgent. These are two teams that are not that far off from each other. This series is split 2-2.
Oh.
The first two matchups went to Solgent back in 2008 and 2009. The last two matchups, 2012 and 2013, those were region games, all 4 of these, was won by Oakman 21-13 and 41-7.
Oh.
A little bit more fuel to the fire, for that game that's coming up. And that was our last game because obviously Winston County is playing Addison. Carbon Hill is off, and Summoning Christian is off.
Mm-hmm.
So, very interesting in some of those, and some of them have been long-established rivalries. Some of them, hopefully, let's cross our fingers, might become bigger rivalries
Yeah.
as the years come on. But Bass, overall, looking at this, I really think this first week is going to be a really fun first week.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have a rivalry game, county game, on Friday. And then you've got two close proximity schools starting off with to start the year. And, of course, Bass, we've talked about Winfield before. Winfield, they had a really magical season last year, a 12-1 season. They didn't lose until they got to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were decking everybody. I mean, I'm looking at these scores. They started off the year with a 6-0 win over Fayette County.
Yeah.
And then they beat Northside 32-14. But after this, listen to this regular season, Bass. Beat Tarrant 54-0. We know how good Oakman was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Oakman 54-14. Beat Susan Moore 48-7. Beat Brilliant 51-0. Beat Vinemont 41-8. Beat Holly Pond 46-0. J.B. Pennington 48-0. And Carbon Hill 51-0. Bass, that means from September the 23rd until the end of the season, they gave up one score against Vinemont. They gave up 8 points their last 5 games of the regular season.
Wow.
They beat Clements in the opening round 62-14. Then they beat Ohatchee 56-27 before running up against that traditional powerhouse of Piedmont, who coincidentally won the state title.
Mm.
So this is a very fun opening matchup for week 1 with Dora, going up against a team that has, probably had its best season in years. There's going to be obviously some guys from that, but what did they lose?
Mm-hmm.
We know Dora returns quite a bit.
That is true. That is true.
So we're going to be watching that. And then, I'm interested to see how everything pans out for for Jasper. We know the skill areas are back and augmented by the transfer of Bubba Odom.
Yep.
We know that. And I think the defense looks particularly strong, but that offensive line, that's got to be the main area that we're going to be watching heavily.
Yeah, for sure. And for you high school football fans, you can join. You can actually pull up our new website here, Wallin Sports Online. WallinSports.com, I believe, is the website. Brian, y'all had WallinSports.com. Brian, you and Brett have worked really hard on this, and I'd say it looks really good.
I love it.
I'd say it looks really, really good.
If any of you have not had a chance to go on it, we're going to be updating it with information starting this week. We're going to be going out with the video camera and be getting practice updates like we did last year. This time they'll be videoed, though, talking directly to the head coach. Now, we're only going to start with 2 this coming up week. Well, every Thursday we'll have Jasper. We're going to end next week with Oakman. And then after that, we'll have Jasper and 2 other teams from the area. And then the final week, we'll have 1 team, but Coach Philip Bailey will be here with us on the B&B Show that Wednesday, the week of game week.
Ooh.
So there won't be any need to do a practice update. We'll just ask him right here when he's on the B&B Show. We won't be doing Dora because next week, Coach Chavez Williams will be here. We'll just ask him then. So going back to the navigation, each one of the stories, each one of the practice updates will be posted on that particular team's page. And you've got two different ways that you can do it. You can just hit team page, or you can just click on the logo. It'll take you to the team page. And on there, already waiting for you, is the countdown to kickoff.
Sure is. I really like that addition to it. I really, really like that.
We'll have game day weather. That's up there. Any new videos or stories that we have involving our Whirlwind teams, we'll be scrolling up there at the top. So that site is ready and waiting for you to navigate, and it will be filled with fun stuff as the week goes on. And plus, our Player of the Week and statistics will be posted each Monday.
That's y'all got it rolling.
We're going to be rolling. But Bass, we are up to our final music break, and then we're going to be rolling to see where we're going to next. But Seal, another one of those artists that had a bunch of great songs in the 1990s. This was a big one. And sometimes we all just feel a little crazy. And this is the name of the song. It's Crazy by Seal.
was Crazy by Seal. Brian, it's that time.
Time to find out where we are going next week. Bass, let's help everybody remember what the ground rules are. The only rule is we cannot go back to 1991 next week.
Yep.
Got to have at least a little space in there. So here we go. 1996.
96.
Have we been to 96 before?
Oh, actually, I don't think we have. I'm gonna find out. I don't think we have. It doesn't ring a bell.
Well,
actually, we have not.
We have not. So we'll have a year in sports for 1996. And joining us next week will be the head coach of the Dora Bulldogs football team, Chavis Williams. He'll be bringing one of his players with him. So we're going to have two in the studio next week. So we also want to thank our special guest this week, the newest member of the JLX Sports crew, Antwon Courington, who joined us. He brought a lot of good stuff, Bass. Great to have him on. Enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. Great. He's going to be a great addition to this team. He's so much you can pull off of him. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I'm really going to enjoy this. So, hope everybody has enjoyed all of the music from this week, as we've certainly enjoyed it. But Bass, it is time to take the sign, to turn it around, because it's closing time.
It is closing time right here on the B&B Show. Thank you to all of our sponsors who keep us on the air. Thank you for everybody listening in. Live stream, no matter if we had trouble or not. Thank you for everybody listening in. It's closing time right here on the B&B Show. See you next week. For Brian and Baz, it's closing time.